were facts. The problem with Bwala is there were lots of embellishments while I was in opposition. And when you do embellishments, when they say eat your word back, because those words were not based on facts, then you start to run away from them. An instance, do you know that Frank Shaibu issued a statement yesterday as regards the Tinubu wanted to use militia to hurt us thing, death threats on my life? Frank Shaibu said that when he was in their campaign, Bwala did say that they should issue that statement, spinning it, and they told him that they don't want the political theatrics before he still finally went ahead to say it. That was not based on facts. As regards the Deloitte one, the Deloitte one Mehdi was quoting was a response to a subpoena. I can read it for you, I mean, for sake of empirical facts. And, okay. So, however, in response to a subpoena around September 2022 seeking blah, 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 Deloitte responded in a letter, September 2022, saying that we have no records that the president is in our system, and as such, we have no employment records for them. Because Bwala came back to fact-check him and said it was wrong. Thirdly, like I said, Mehdi didn't even do his job well, because there was so much. How will he explain, even if you give Tinubu 30 years, nothing will work? Then he goes on and on and on and on like that. And that's why I see, now people are doing opposition. Stick to the facts. Empirical facts. And the question also, and that's why I'm not surprised. You see, because, and I don't like it to be about myself, but when he came here that day, this was the same question we posed at him. That some of his supporters were deceiving him and saying, yes, he answered if I have back. Because we say you have no integrity. But these were the things you said. And now you're saying it's in opposition. Politics does not mean you should lie. So does it mean that you were telling porkies to the people you were telling those things to? This was the same you that came out to say Tinubu didn't do anything in Lagos, he collected a tax. The last point I want to make, based on all his fact check, is just cherry picking, and the cherry picking are never based on empirical. Because that video, the verbatim point Mehdi made, that the president said there was no corruption. Yes, there was no corruption. Yes, they've been able to now, because it was a day after, they now retracted by saying there was a contest to the matter, that they were talking about the oil sector, no corruption in the oil sector. Let's even press it further. No corruption in the oil sector. Wasn't the regulator in the oil sector sacked because Dangote, a player in the oil sector, brought about allegations that he funded school of his children above his pay grade?
Yeah.
Till today, they killed that Farouk case.
No investigation.
No investigation, nothing, because it's been taken away. So when you say, oh, the context was there was no corruption in the oil sector, what was that?
All right.
So you see all of these things, it just shows that we should be careful. We should be able to have a strong level of conviction and all of that. Bwala is my friend and my brother. I'm saying, yes, we don't agree on many things today. You get, tomorrow, I will keep speaking on my side. We might agree on some things. We will still talk again.
All right.
But for the interest, when you are doing opposition, do it and stick to the facts. Because you see, life, those that you are quickly this, that, you might still come back. And that's what I was saying the last week. That this one, that some people are saying, opposition will not near you. You forget that the person in opposition yesterday can be your ally today. Who will ever have thought that El Rufai and Peter Obi will be on the same camp?
All right. Dr. Abati, you are a spokesman to former President Goodluck Jonathan. I'd like for you to share with us some of your thoughts on, the saga that unfolded over the weekend.
Okay. The first thing is, as a spokesperson, it's not every platform that you go to. You choose your platform wisely. In this particular case, I think there is an error of judgment on the part of Daniel Bwala. He said in negotiation about the interview took about 6 months, and he was told he was going to address specific subjects about the performance of the Tinubu administration with specific emphasis on security, poverty, and corruption. But then he got there and he was ambushed. Okay, now that excuse does not wash. If he had been following the program stated by, anchored by Mehdi Hassan, he would know that he's a very biased, conflicted, controversial anchor. People say it is style, but some people will say, well, it's bad journalism. If we check his history, you see that he tends to turn his guests into a straw person. He tries to lie by omission, and he tries to intimidate you. Now, some people will say it's style, but it looks like bad journalism because this inquisitorial approach, once you already have an opinion about the subject, why invite the guest? Yes. You might as well stay on the screen and express all opinions yourself. He has had issues with regard to abortion, with regard to LGBTQ communities, with regard to Gaza, with regard to his mischaracterization of Muslims. And so he himself is as controversial as anybody else can be. Now, if you know that this is the character of the anchor, you are not duty-bound to go there. There are many people who say, no, this particular anchor, because of his style, because of his offensive journalism, we will not go there. Yeah. So he made himself available. So you cannot go there now and be talking about contest. Half of the time, the anchor didn't even allow him to speak. So if he had done his homework, he would not go to that channel to go and talk. The second thing, I hope he will learn his lesson. It's also that the internet never forgets. No. If you say you were in the opposition, you said certain things about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, something that is even known to everybody in Nigeria, anybody who can just fact-check anything. You don't then go there and say, I never said that. I never said that. If you said it, own up to it. Yes. You don't need to say it is a contest. So the manner of his response is also something, you know, that has infuriated people and that has given opportunity to persons who have been critical of his work with the Tinubu administration, with his lack of consistency, with his lack of principle. It is what has given them the ammunition to say, well, this is the thing about Daniel Bwala. Yeah. But he has collected the embarrassment with his chest. I hope he has learned his lessons. In his commentary, he didn't say he has learned any lessons. He needs to learn certain lessons about that job and to make sure that he doesn't make that kind of mistake in the future. However, I think the Nigerian media is also part of the problem. We create these people. Any dumbbed that comes around that wants to speak on television, you invite them, you give them platform because you are also looking for guests, and then they become whatever they want to become. They use you to climb, and then they turn around and talk derisively about local anchors.
Local TV anchors.
Yes, we are supposed to be local TV anchors. So, you know, we'll take out of the blame. The media in Nigeria must learn, you know, to choose wisely also in terms of the kind of people you give your platforms to and that you iconize. When they go to international TV, those ones, you know, who also have biases, who have prejudices, as Media Hassan showed clearly. The word I would like to use would be racist, but I don't think I want to go that far. You know, then they get exposed because they don't have respect for you. But here in Nigeria, we tend to pamper people. Anybody who knows next to nothing, who wants to talk, you put the microphone in their mouth and they suddenly become superstars.
Dr. But it's content. It's content.
It's content.
It's not context. It's content. It's content. We need content.
Okay.
Content.
Yeah, thank you for teaching me.